and don't know. Another thing worth knowing.
Alright.
If you're new here to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're not new here, welcome back. So on today's video, I'd like to share a few travel tips. I have been to quite a few places over the years on city breaks. One thing that I can tell you for sure is that I have learned a few valuable lessons, which I'd like to share with you today. The first step is booking your flight. Well, the first step is choosing where you're going, but let's say that you've already decided where you're going and you need to book your flight. The website that I normally go for and that I normally use is skyscanner.net. So skyscanner.net is a price comparison website which I've used for many years now. What it does, if you pop in the place that you'd like to travel to, and it gives you a big list of different airlines that you could use. Some of these airlines are budget airlines, so these are the first ones that you'll come across. The rest of them are the more expensive ones, like for example British Airways, Virgin Airlines, etc. Every website has cookies to understand what you're searching for and to track what you're searching for. So for example, if you're searching for a flight to Paris, make sure that you clear the history, because what will happen is if you go back to search for that flight to Paris, the actual price will go up. Another tip is make sure that you use different IP addresses so that the internet doesn't track that you're looking for that flight. Your phone device has one IP address, your computer has an IP address, or you can go to work and use that IP address, which is completely different to the one at home. Therefore, yet again, the price doesn't skyrocket. Another tip on flights is if you're looking on price comparison websites or with the company directly, when you go onto the website, rather than selecting London to Paris, select London Old Airport to Paris Old Airport. That way it gives you a variety of prices because you're being more flexible. Most likely you'll get a cheaper flight. In the past I used to book 4-star hotels that I found I never used to really spend any time in because I was out all day experiencing the city. Don't waste your money on really expensive hotels. I would look more at the location. Is it close to a way of transportation, a tram, a train, an underground? That way you put all your money and time in experiencing the city. Another thing that I normally do is I always try and book breakfast. I find that way I save a bit of money rather than spending somewhere in town. Also, I find that I wake up earlier because I know I have to go to breakfast. Flights are generally cheaper at the beginning of the week for some reason, so the chances are flights will be cheaper on a Tuesday. Things to do on a city break. I've only come across this a couple of years ago, I believe. Every single city does walking tours. If you go on Google and type the city that you're going to, pretty much you'll find out at least 1 or 2 walking tours. These are amazing. So they're normally between 2 to 3 hours, and you will go to the main spots in the city and also the spots that are not as well known. They are normally advertised as free. However, at the end of every tour, the tour guide will ask you to pay him whatever you think that this tour was worth. If you decide to, you cannot pay him anything, but bear in mind, these are generally students or young individuals that are just trying to make some extra cash. I have never been to a walking tour that I've completely been disappointed and decided not to pay them at all. So I think that they're a great way of seeing the city, of visiting places that you might have not been able to find on your generic website. I've always asked the tour guides to recommend places to go out and eat, places that are not very touristy. I absolutely hate going to places where they're very crowded, their prices are very high, the service is not great. I've always asked them to recommend a place that the locals actually go and eat, and I have not once been disappointed. So yeah, doing this, I have to say I've visited some really cool spots in the city that I would have never really found or known about if it wasn't for them recommending it. Make sure you research. Think about how you're going to get to and from the airport. Are you taking a bus? Are you taking the underground or a train? If the public transport drops you off in the middle of the city, do you know how to get from there to the hotel? Of course, nowadays everyone has a mobile phone, but let's say for example your mobile phone doesn't work. Have you got your address? Have you got a little map that you would know how to get to your hotel? So think about all these things, because there's nothing more stressful as not finding your hotel, not knowing where you are in a country that might not even speak English. Just do your research, guys. So when I book restaurants on city breaks, I tend to go on to Trivago or TripAdvisor, look at reviews before I go to the restaurant. That just avoids me being disappointed. I have been to restaurants that have been highly recommended by friends, but I haven't really read the reviews. Some of my friends might have gone to this restaurant years and years before, but because I haven't read the reviews, I was really disappointed about the service, the food, etc. So these are a few of my essential tips. I hope that you found at least some of them useful. Over the weekend, I visited beautiful London, so I've added a clip in this video and I hope you enjoy it. In the meantime, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment, and I'll see you soon. Hello everyone, and welcome to my first video outside in this beautiful surroundings. We're in London at the moment, in front of the Imperial War Museum, and it will follow up by a day out in London with drinks with friends and dinner later on. Where the old meets the new. City of London.